Denizens of the net, we are back with another round of Netrunner. Today I'm feeling runner, so I'm going to be trying out this deck. It's a base. It's very familiar to most of you. I'm sure it's again from Sokka. It's a variation on a theme. I think I've run it before for this channel as well. The difference is I've cut Clot. I put in one Citadel Sanctuary and a Pinhole Threading. I don't know if these are necessary changes or not, but I've recognized that I don't use Clot very much. Whether I should or shouldn't is kind of irrelevant. It just isn't something I tend to think about using, and so I almost forgot. Yeah, it's something I tend to think about using as much, and because I don't think about using it, I don't get around to using it. If I don't get around to using it, it's not worth it. And then the times that it would be beneficial, I don't have it, etc., etc. The other major change. Oh, I don't know who this is. Go look, have fun. The other major change I made to the deck is throwing SMC in, and I don't remember if I cut one of the whatchamacallits. I don't remember if I cut one of the Into the Depths or if I didn't, but bottom line, I find that I keep not getting my rig up in time. So this is one solution to that. Ooh, this is a bad matchup. Unfortunately, this is not the game I want to play today. Jinteki tends to not care as much about ice or rigs or money. So, and it tends to have a lot more gotcha, now you die situations that come up. But meet the game where you find it, right? I am tempted to literally just draw and run right now, blind. I mean, none of this stuff in my hand matters, except maybe the simul chip. I can afford to lose this whole hand. And there's not a whole lot of hard end the runs that come out of Jinteki. There's a lot more Sais and Tani type stuff. I've got 2 events, so it's as likely as not to miss if he names something with neurally and not neurally, whatchamacallit? The one where he sees your grip. Oh, but that's banned in standard, isn't it? And honestly, forcing him to spend money early is only going to help my cause. So yeah, I'm gonna risk losing this hand. Anemone, perfect. See, I want the anemone to fire now, and for me to lose a few random stuffs early. Yeah, you can fire the unbroken subroutines. Breach. And see, that's one trap I don't have to deal with. Unfortunately, now I'm in a bad situation. I can't play a card without giving up my free lat draw. And I really want to slap down this, but he's poor, so the odds of that being useful are low. Maybe it's better to go for the deck and risk hitting a snare he can't afford. A second anemone kills me. Let's not get stupid. Let's just do this and end my turn. All right, we're good. That was a great opener. I know it doesn't look like it. I know it looks like I gave up 8 credits. But honest to goodness, I don't need those. I just need hit points and I need tempo. I just made him spend a turn to literally get his money back, and that's good. He's poor as heck with 1 card in hand. I should spend this turn rigging up. Or not poor as heck. He's got nothing in hand. I should spend this turn rigging up. 2. He's not going to be really dealing with me in this regard, most likely. 3. My guess is that 1 credit per turn will be faster than 2 credits per turn this game. So this is probably the option. Technically, slapping down a Tapeworm right now would get me 2 credits a turn as well, but I would have to make a run to make that worthwhile. How does this work exactly? Run any surfer successful. When your turn begins, if you made a successful run on a central. If successful, instead of breaching, access a different one. So I can do this into not anymore. Okay, never mind. I was planning ahead, but I could have potentially used this into that. What I need to do, honest to goodness, is get my rig up, at least an Ika, and then just start smashing HQ or smashing R&D like as fast as possible. How do you say no to this, guys? There we go. Money problem solved for the rest of the game. Now all I have to do is worry about hit points, and I should be golden. That investment's going to pay off within a turn or two. He's got no tempo. He's not going to beat me by scoring out. He's only going to beat me by killing me. But if that's a house of knives, that's not impossible. There's my boat. I'm going to go out on a limb and bet that he thought I couldn't make it into server 2 this turn. I'm also going to bet that it's an Obokata. If it's an Obokata, I'm not going to steal it. I'm just going to let it sit there until I can steal it comfortably. So let's go for it. If it's a snare, I live. Oh, nasty, nasty, nasty bug. Okay, well, we're definitely not able to fully break that. So fire 1, and I'm going to lose some money and some stuff. That's not great. I think I still access most the time I live. Hmm. How come I have no money left? I swear I thought I had more money than this. Did I seriously use all my money on the boat? Oh, the DNA tracker. That's how come. Okay, well, no harm done. No harm done. Do we go for server 3? I don't have anything to trash with, so I feel like we don't. I think we honest to goodness just settle back, Parisia, and end the turn on 0 credits. He can't kill me for what I know he has. If he scores an HOK, I'm perfectly alright with that, because he would much rather res Regalith. Bladderwort, that's what he's gonna use. Yep. Okie dokie, no problem. It's a good thing we have free money to use on trashing this, and of all the cards he could have gotten rid of, he got rid of the one I wanted him to get rid of. So I think we trash the Bladderwort, bust through R&D. We should draw some cards. Draw. Draw once is good. Run server 3. Breach. Destroy. Crush, kill, destroy. We have all the money, so that's good. I think we run R&D and slap down a Tapworm is good. It probably will prompt a purge. We could do the same off of HQ now that I think about it. But I want to see more of his ice, honestly. So yeah, we're just gonna go. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, wrong server. I meant obviously to do R&D. It would make almost no sense to do what I just said. What the devil am I seeing here? Trash the top 3 cards of the stack. Trash Imore. Do I just let that happen? I think I just let that happen. I mean, there's very little. I would be sad to see certain things go, but I can recover most of it. What I lose? I lost my SMC. That's not nice, but literally nothing I care too much about. Do I risk a snare here? I have 1 click to recover. Do I risk? Yeah, I risk it. I think I risk it. So he is really all in on money, which means he probably does purge here, which means I'm going to get a lot of tempo off of this, and I'm okay with that. Either that or he decides that he's just not going to contest me on money this game. I'd be okay with that too. What's really throwing me is that we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10-ish cards and no agendas? That doesn't seem probable. So there's probably one hiding in HQ, if I had to guess. Another trap, huh? Well, the good news is I'm not scared of your fancy pants tracker. First click draw, got a spare boat. All of this can afford to go, but I feel like if I'm careful, I'll put this down first, just so I can easily simul chip something back when necessary. We're banking on taking less than 4 damage at once, and I think that's a safe prospect, so we'll go on R&D. Another one, huh? He's really overcooking my grits. I don't want to let him mill me out. But in a sense, this does help me dig for stuff I care about, so sure, go ahead. And it generates a ton of Ika, Paperclip, and the Endurance. So there's the Ika that I wanted. There's the Paperclip that I can now summon at will. So that actually helps me in terms of building my rig. That's what we were afraid of, I suppose. You know, this deck could use an imp, and I have the influence for it now. I'm going to skip the free draw to get this down. Okay, so we've done enough rigging up. We now have money, clicks, and all we have to do is steal 3 agendas or 4 and win without taking too much damage in the process. Eventually, I'm going to have to open a server that I can just run on without trashing my stack every turn. Eventually. What I really would like still is my Stargate, and I would have to trash something to make room for it, which is not a big deal. All right, we're good. He's PE, right? Yeah, so I don't have enough cards to steal if I want to go for that. I think I run R&D again. I mean, statistically speaking. Oh, never mind. New plan, guys, new plan. I'm gonna rig up. And take it nice and slow now. He's playing slow, I'm playing slow. I got 18 hit points to win the game with. This whole hand is air. As long as I have money, I don't need cards that give me money, so I can use them for hit points. I want to hit an Obokata with this hand. That is my goal. This takes 2, 4, 6, 8. This is not going to get to DNA tracker numbers anytime soon. Well, it might next turn, actually, depending. That is going to be, at worst, a House of Knives. Anything else I don't have to run, so I don't care. He's giving me free money. I feel like I should check it, even if it's a snare or something. I think what we do here is I want to crack Simmel Chip to get back the Ika to stick on this, because Ika deals with this beautifully, and he'll probably end up double icing or trashing HQ as a result. But I also don't want to lose anything in my rig. I guess Parisia has kind of run its course now. I'm being under aggressive because I'm trying to keep everything, and that's a mistake. So yeah, let's not do that. We got several clicks. Let's bust into HQ repeatedly until we find something. How do I break this thing? Let unbroken subs fire. Let unbroken subs. There we go. Fully break anemone for 1 credit. That's kind of awesome. No, that's not good. So we know he has a hedge fund. I'm like betting the oboes in here. I'm just going to do -1 credit from hand and then continue to movement instead of trying to click that exact card to see if he lets me get away with that. So, there it is. Steal that sucker. And now that we have it, we just draw, draw, draw. Very happy. He could Neurospike me for 3. If he double Neurospikes, I lose, but we know for sure he has a hedge fund. What was that? Hansai, government. So he's very, very rich, and he's got a hedge fund in hand. As soon as I find the agendas, I win. And he's letting me keep this. I don't know if he realizes he can purge this. After the game, I have to tell him, because I feel like that's a huge misplay. I don't think this is an agenda. I think if this is an agenda last turn and he has Hansai and government subsidy, he just scores it out. I think that this might be a archive shuffle effect. Maybe. I'm rich enough to find out. I think if I slap down Stone Ship as a security, that wouldn't be a terrible play here. I don't have a ton of hit points left. I have enough to win and make one or two mistakes. I think we... How much do I need Stone Ship to win? I don't need it, but I'd like it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 feels bad. 4 feels bad. But if I hit an oboe, I can't steal it, so I need to do that. But do I really steal oboe on the last click? Probably not. I think I run archives here. I don't have to steal an oboe if I find one. I can always choose not to. If he has a Mavirus in archives, I'm giving up my cash cow, but I don't think he has a Mavirus in archives. I think I'm okay. But he's thinking pretty hard about letting me in. I'm fairly convinced that that's the Jackson Howard equivalent. I forget what they call it now. Ooh, interesting. I don't like any of those subs, and I'm going to break all of them. Boom, boom, fully break. He got a really good res break ratio there, but I don't want to waste anything on that. Are you serious? There's a blood in the water in there? And he's just letting me have it? I mean, I'll take it. Shoot. That's a hell of a catch for me. All right. When did he discard blood in the water and why? I'm gonna have to watch this game back. I don't understand why that was in the trash. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. There's only a handful of things that could possibly be, and I don't know advanceable traps enough to know which ones are super threatening, which ones aren't. But it's not a Regenesis play, unless he does trash to 5-3. I can recheck archives if I'm worried about that. He knows that I can get in, and knowing that he knows that I know that he knows, he might be trying to bait me. In his hand right now, there's what? It could be a Ronin play, but why would you not double advance it if it's a Ronin? So I don't think it's a Ronin. I really want to Stargate right now. I think Stargate to secure the win is my strongest play. I can trash my Rizeki and cash very easily when I'm ready for it. Like I have enough money to win with, presumably, especially with 6 boat counters. I'm debating doing it. Sorry, I gotta say thinking here. I'm debating a aggressive line where I go into the depths, pass R&D by breaking it with a boat, use the install a program effect to summon out my Stargate, and then Stargate R&D. I could do the same thing against HQ. So 1 credit and I'm in. If I do pull out Stargate, I need to destroy 2 of these. Probably Tapworm and Rizeki, and just go down to 2 credits a turn. And I'm sitting on 20 credits, so that's probably okay. I really don't think this is an agenda. I think his suite is 9, 11, 15. I don't know why he'd want advance. I think that's a trap of some kind. Yeah. Either that or he's flooded. I don't think he's flooded. Yeah, we're going for it. Let's bust HQ with Into the Depths. And we will fully break Anemone. Reach. Install a program from my stack. Stargate. We now have to trash a bunch of stuff. Oh, I hit snare. Well, that's a kick in the pants. Of course, we'll have to trash the snare. We'll have to trash a bunch of stuff. He doesn't know that we're being an honest broker, but we're being an honest broker. I think I do keep the Tapworm because it's either 4 credits now or this is probably the time where I I can afford to play a little slow here. I think I remove the tag, draw twice, because I'm relying on the HQ effect, or the lot effect for my last draw. And this doesn't access cards, right? So I can't take damage by doing this. Anemone puts me low, but I can perfect. I can immediately use this to recover. Do I break this? I'm not gonna Ika it. I'm just gonna use boat counters for cash value. I'm not that worried about running out of boat counters this game. Do I need 1 point or do I need 2 points? I need 2 points. But if he draws 2 DNA trackers and I know he's using DNA trackers, I can choose when I'm ready to break the DNA tracker. The thing is, he's going to flip it down on R&D, and it's going to cost me 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get in once. That's okay. That's okay. Let's do this. Let's keep that in the trash for me. I've also ignored server 2, so we're gonna have to figure out what that is. If that's Ronin, I may just be dead. Triple advance, boom. Oh, he puts the DNA tracker on archives. Okay. Well, that's just suspicious. I mean, is it clearinghouse would be one thing, but what else could that be? How much influence have I seen? I've seen 1 point of influence. That's it. Clearinghouse, I think that's what it's called, right? Is 3 influence. You may trash sessions to do 1 meat damage for each hosted advancement counter. That's a reasonable amount. So I would be taking 3 meat damage. And that compares to Erdica Cypher, which is 2 net damage plus 1 for each. 5. I think it's an Erdica because I think that 1 advance was awful suspicious for something that isn't intentional. I am running out of deck, which means I have a very limited number of agenda steal potentials left. But he made a mistake. He left R&D open for me, which means I can have a guaranteed win chance potentially. All I have to do is get through a DNA tracker once, assuming that this is breakable. I'm going to swap the Ika for how much? 2 to swap, 3 to break. Yeah, let's do it. Host Ika on a piece of ice. This one. And break up to 2 sentry subroutines. 3 credits for 1 counter given my income is reasonable. There's Project Yagi Uda. That's the game winner, I think, right? And I have enough boat counters that I can just boat the whole server, potentially. So that's the game. Let's draw up just in case there's a trap that I haven't predicted. And then we'll run archives. Boop, boop. Boop. Continue. Continue to approach. GG. Well played. Why not purge the tapeworm? It made me... But, I mean, I guess money didn't matter, but without tons of money, I couldn't have kept up the tempo or installed Stargate. I'd probably have to play at least 3 to 4 more money cards instead of trashing them. But yeah, skip a turn is painful. By the way, you're the richest Jinteki I've ever seen. I'm on twitch.tv/BountyHunterSAx. Feel free to take a peek whenever. Also, what was it on S2? I'm thinking Vertica since you slow advanced it. Same. Shouldn't say same. Different people have different definitions of casual. It's not fair to him to claim casualness if I play as many hours of this game as I have. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Ah, nice guy. Nice run. Nice game. That was a lot of fun. Um, I'd probably be down for another, but honestly, given the time of evening, I should probably hold off. Let's do a postmortem. Firstly, I'm down to my last 4 cards on this deck. Which means that for all that I won and won very convincingly 7-0, 8-0 based on this archives, uh, if I hit 1 trap here and lose this hand, I can no longer steal Obokatas at all. Now, I remember at some point, not this deck, a different deck, I had cut Caldera right before facing a PE grinder. And yeah, I just realized something. He has Bladderwort in this deck. Where is it? When your turn begins, gain a credit. Then if you have 4 or less, do 1 net damage. I guess it's a better pad tap. But in his deck, I just don't think he's ever that poor. I mean, let's review. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 money cards that we saw him play. This Imore is interesting. It seems like a nothing ice, right? The trap subtype, then it gets rid of itself, unlikely to be broken, blah, blah, blah. But 1, who's going to spend 2 boat counters to kill an Imore? 2, it's free to res, so it doesn't hit your wallet. 3, if you really get right down to it, Anemone this game cost me like, let's say 5 credits, right? 2 credits to lock onto it and 3 credits to break it 3 times, something like that. In the meantime, it dealt me 2 net damage because of the Anemone effect and required a card trash from HQ. This Anemone also did the same. So in a real sense, if you're just thinking of it as a grinder point of view, Imore did 3 net damage. That's pretty good. I mean, that's really good for a 0-cost trap ice. And if you mix this with what we never saw in his deck, but probably most decks have, 3 Spin Doctors. The trouble is getting the runner to care about a server where they suspect you keep slapping Imores, but PE Grinder, your goal is to race the runner to the bottom of his stack, and mostly that's done by net damage, then they draw up, net damage, then they draw up. But what's interesting about Imore is it smashes it out from the deck, so they never get to draw into what they care about with it. I wonder if there's something there to recurring Imore as a means of digging. I will tell you guys this. This is the lowest that I've gotten in a PE game in some time, actually. And the only things that I hit that I quote unquote didn't have to was snare out of hand, which is bad luck, and that's it. I've hit 0 traps. I mean, the trap ice. Uh, I could have broken this with the boat if it was, to the wire. I chose to let it go so that I could farm boat counters. So you could argue skill versus dumbness there, but okay, if he's on House of Knives, which Pragayuda, and I do feel like he wasn't. My opponent wasn't joking when he said, casual. Like, I wouldn't necessarily run with this mix of agendas. I don't think this 3-2 particularly mixes nicely with House of Knives. But take the same concept that he's running and swap out with some stings, right? Which in PE reads, when you steal the center, do X net damage. X is equal to the number of copies of the thing in the other player's score area plus 1. So right off the bat, uh, he's going to be starting to ping for 1, then for 2. Sorry, sting 1 plus other player score area. So the initial sting costs 2, and the next sting costs 2 or 3. That's a lot of extra damage. That's 4 cards out of my deck right there. Suddenly all these House of Knives feel less stealable, right? And he can even afford to quote unquote feed me a sting, lay it on the board and advance it once, and then if I don't run it, double advance score, right? All for the sake of getting those Obokatas unstealable at the end, because Film Critic is gone. You can't free steal those anymore. Hmm. I should make a PE deck. That's just my problem playing these games. Every time I play against something, I promptly want to play as that something next to just to see what it's like and see what works against it since that just worked or didn't work, but didn't work in an interesting way against me. Very, very. It is a good problem to have, to be sure, because it implies that everything I either do or see is fun. And for me, the most important thing about Netrunner is how damn fun it is to play. Um, yeah. Anywho, I think that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a blast here, and I hope you did too. If you're enjoying my streaming, remember I'm on Twitch and YouTube, and please feel free to subscribe. If there's something in particular that you all and comment, let me know what was worked. If there's something you want to see in particular, let me know. Otherwise, I'm here playing games and having a blast. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.